God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How we doing?
Doing okay.
Well, I know why you're doing okay and not better. Okay, which leads us to our first.
There's
topic.
a lot of good, and there's also some bad.
But also some bad. We're not going to play the Twitter thing for the kids. But if you can, go to Drew McIntyre's Twitter page, watch the video. Great promo. There were some F-bombs. So we're going to, for kids' purposes, even though we say the F-bomb on this channel, not on this show, even though we say it, we try to refrain, but we don't. But anyway, let's go watch Drew McIntyre. That way we don't get copyright for some reason. Anyway, leaked story of the day that came out of nowhere. We thought weeks ago that, hey, Dijak hasn't appeared on Raw. He got called up to the main roster. He just had a great rerun, basically, in NXT. The Joe Gacy, then you thought he was going to end up going, he had multiple matches, stuff like that. He was really hitting his stride when he did when they took him back down to NXT. He gets called up for the main roster, and we're like, the whole time, the whole joke was like, where's Dijak? Wyatt Six debuts, where's Dijak? Seth Rollins comes back, where's Dijak? All these things. Jacob. All the Samoans debut. Where's Dijak? Even though he was on Raw. Then today, Dijak posts, basically, if you read it, is that we were told there was contract negotiations. According to Dijak, they stonewalled him, never really were in negotiation with him, and it basically said thanks but no thanks, and is going to let his contract run out, which means come in a couple of days, Dijak will be a free agent. There is no non-compete clause because he didn't get released. They're just letting it run out like a typical, like a Tony Khan AEW thing. Which, okay, that's great for Dijak to be able to get work. He's not Scott D'Amore who has to sit home being fired until February.
Right.
He can at least go and do that. That's the good news. The bad news is it sounds like bad business. I'll let it to you. That's your boy.
Yeah, this is really disappointing news. Been a big fan of this guy for a while. And I thought that after this recent run, when he went back to NXT and reinvented himself, that it's like he was doing great stuff. He was having banger matches, good feuds. The only thing missing was, getting some kind of title run, which that I thought he deserved. But anyway, then, it's like, with Triple H in charge, it's like, I thought, hey, he'll get called to the main roster, he'll get a good shot. And then, he gets called up, and then nothing. And so it's like, became like, okay, what's going on? Do they not have anything for him creatively? What's going on? Well, then, it's like he says here, apparently, it's like he was told he was crushing it, but then they're like, we've decided not to renew your contract.
What happened, do you think?
I don't know.
Because Triple H. He was always kind of a Triple H guy. I mean, obviously, the match with him and Keith Lee, which they kind of work with each other so much on the Indies, that match that they had is still of a black and gold era. That's still one of the top 10 matches that they put on in NXT. And then they did the dumb, retribution crap. And then he thought he was going to get released then. Then Shawn and Triple H basically were like, no, let's go do this. And now they're just not renewing his contract. It's not like it's a money issue with the WWE. I mean, they're on a heater of all heaters right now. So there has to be something that no one is telling us. at this point, because there's something not adding up on why Dijak wasn't renewed. Because it wasn't like he was just doing whatever in NXT; he was killing it.
Like he said it in the letter that he posted on Twitter/X. Like 2 months ago, it was one of the best matches in NXT history. A top match at WrestleMania weekend. It's like the from Stand and Deliver, and a top WWE executive told him the same day that he was crushing it, and he said he was gonna feud for he was gonna be in a feud for the NXT title, but that's when he got drafted to Raw,
right?
And he says they never made him a single offer, and then informed him they would not renew his contract at the 11th hour.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't understand this.
Someone is not. So each party is it. I don't want to sit there and say Dijak because they're both sides say different things.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
and this just seems like it doesn't add up. That
I mean,
they
Triple H
just
doesn't oversee the contract and stuff. He's oversees all the creative.
Right.
It's like so.
And they fired the guy that screwed up the contract negotiations with Black and Adam Cole for them to show up on that. So, I just don't.
This guy is so talented. He's been killing it. It's like I was so looking forward to him being on Raw with everybody else is on Raw right now. We got fucking Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov and Drew, Sheamus, Punk, Gunther. I was just like, oh my god, he's gonna have banger matches with these people, and it's like
right.
So it's like I don't know what happened. Somebody somewhere in the company felt like it's like we got enough people, we don't need him anymore. So this seems like it's above Khan, or not. It's Khan's not going to deal with it. Triple H would always takes care of his people that we've got, at least that we've known from the outside looking in. So, and I haven't listened. SRS really hasn't released any other details about it, because he typically, when a story like this breaks, SRS is going to figure out, all right, what's true and what's not true from both sides saying anything. The thing is, since Dijak has released this today, we haven't heard anything from the WWE side. Well, you would think they would, but their silence could carry weight, but I don't think so, just because they released that they were working with them. So you wouldn't release that you're working with them, and then weeks later the wrestler says that they never talked to him. There's a gap there that needs to be made sense. Yeah, none of this I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. Like Ricochet, I understand wanting to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Despite Triple H being in charge. I can understand. I can assume his reasonings. This I don't understand. This feels like this is a mistake. It's like, as much as I like what WWE's doing, if they're doing something I don't like, I'm gonna call it out. This is not a good move. I think this is a bad decision to let him go. Who is someone who is that talented and works that hard. But hey, you never know. And he could go back there again one day. It's like he could do exactly what Drew McIntyre or Cody did. Go elsewhere, go back to the Indies, go elsewhere, show how awesome he is, and then make WWE realize, oh, you know what? Maybe it's like maybe we made a mistake in letting you go. How about would you be interested in coming back?
Yeah, and I think the IWC agrees with you from what we've seen on Twitter, because you don't go a Raw ever since Dijak got called up, for people jokingly saying where's Dijak, and then it became a thing. But there's a reason it became a thing. If he wasn't relevant, people wouldn't keep bringing him up that he wasn't showing up every single show. Odyssey Jones is the joke. Dijak was why the frick did you call him up and not have him on the show? That was a different approach to it. Now, that being said, before we get to Jeremy's comments, thank you, Jeremy, for commenting. We'll get to you in a second. I'm kind of and where do we go from here is the next step with Dijak. He's too talented. He's too good. Here's my thing, and then I'll let you go. Okay? And then we'll get to Jeremy's comments. I think because it and the way it works out, New Japan G1 is the next stop. Does he period Forbidden Door? I don't think so, because I don't think AEW is the landing spot for him, because he's just going to be the same. Other than that one match with Keith Lee, who's injured.
Tony can barely book his big guys right as it is right now. So I would not trust him to treat Dijak correctly.
You've got he can't if he can't book Lance Archer correctly, he's not going to book Dijak correctly. I'll put it that way. As far as similar type of wrestler, now I think New Japan is the best way for him to go. Heck, if he shows up at TNA, that's kind of it's not the same thing. TNA that relationship with TNA and WWE is different now. So New Japan to me is the best route to go.
Probably, and TNA is probably a likely landing spot. Those are probably the two best spots for him to go to really show people, hey, look how awesome I am. Mm-hmm. So I hope that's best for him. Yeah, this is disappointing. This is very, 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 very disappointing news. I mean, everybody I follow on Twitter from whole bunch of people from Simon Miller to JD from New York, a whole bunch of people are like, it's like, this is a mistake, dude. Wherever you're going to go, you're going to kill it. Go kick ass.
Right.
And that's exactly what I hope for him.
I mean, that's pretty much what he said at the end of it. So, I mean,
like
you said.
So whoever it was in the WWE higher ups who didn't feel like that it was worth keeping him around, that it was a mistake.
Yeah. So I don't get it. All right. A couple of Jeremy comments here. I feel like he's on the lower end of NXT pushes, so he decided to go.
Well, what he's saying. It wasn't his decision to go. Like he wanted to stay, but
they stonewalled him.
They stonewalled him and decided not to renew his contract. It's different than Ricochet. The word is Ricochet. They wanted to negotiate with Ricochet. Ricochet was like, no, I'm gonna take my talents elsewhere.
Yeah, and AEW makes sense for the type of how Tony books AEW. Ricochet is an AEW type of wrestler in Tony Khan's mind.
And Will Ospreay is probably telling Tony to sign Ricochet.
Yes. Yeah. Him and then probably won't find out. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure he'll give him like more details once his contract is officially over with.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He's gonna go in on him because he has nothing. Like he's going to do scorched earth, and then they're gonna ask Triple H about it at some random other podcast, and he's gonna go, and he's gonna do very political stuff, which is what he's been doing. Like he can't say in or out. He's every time they've asked him about it, he goes like, it just didn't work out. Blah blah. He's not gonna verbally come out and say, here's what happened, and we just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do or something. Like he's going to be very political, whereas Dijak is just going to do scorched earth because what else does he have to lose at this point?
Yeah, not happy about this.
No, money's always a possibility, but maybe he feels he can get more in AEW or elsewhere. Like I said, he's going to get paid handsomely if he goes to AEW, but the thing is there's no contract negotiation, so it's not like Tony's just going to break out the pocketbook.
It's like, he could get good money, but it's like, would he get used well? It's like, he's the kind of guy that's looking for, are you going to give me a shot? And other places, he's probably going to get a really good shot. Right now, with the way AEW roller coaster AEW booking is right now,
No, just not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
All right, let's try to move on to some more positive news.
Yeah. Well, in positive news, let me bring it back up here. Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews tied the knot.
Finally.
And let me bring up a picture here, but there it is. Some congratulations to them. This is the first broken forbidden door that was broken between AEW and WWE. Yeah. I mean, technically not, but still. You think about it, because Mia and Keith, and at one point Andrade and Charlotte, but still.
Rhea posted that to her Instagram, and and everyone was like, "Oh, wait, what?"
Yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. Like we knew they were engaged, but they never
they've
really
been engaged for a while. They've
Yeah.
been engaged for a while. Everyone knew they were engaged, but didn't know when they were gonna finally tie the knot. But well, this explains why Buddy Matthews was written off of television recently.
Yeah.
For those who don't watch AEW Collision, the House of Black was tangling with the patriarchy, and in a backstage segment, Christian and company revealed that they had attacked Buddy Matthews and laid him out, and he was like unconscious on the ground, and he hasn't been on TV since. So I guess that's why they wrote him off TV, so he could go marry Rhea and have a little bit of honeymoon vacation time.
I'm still not used to the patriarchy name, but it makes like 1,000% sense as far as that faction is concerned. Like I like that name. But this
is also good timing because Rhea's also out. Rhea's still out injured, so
yep,
something positive. While she tries to rehab and get back as soon as possible. So congrats to the couple.
Yep, congrats couple there. And then before we get to our last segment, on a more I want to kind of all right. We're gonna do somber, then we're gonna bring it back up for as far as this goes, and then we'll get into SmackDown, Raw, and all the other breakdowns. But unfortunately, he was in and out of the hospital. You knew he was in bad health, but we did lose a legend in Sika. Roman Reigns' father. He's Roman Reigns was actually, they showed him today. He was visiting a children's hospital, but he did have a press release and everything like that. But we lost a legend with that. And Justin, I'll turn to you to kind of highlight the legend that was Sika.
Well, Sika broke into wrestling in the 70s. He was trained to wrestle by his own brother, and another rest of the time, Kurt Von Steiger. He made his wrestling debut in 1973 for Stampede Wrestling, the Canadian promotion founded by Bret Hart's father, Stu Hart. And he and his brother tag teamed together. They were the Wild Samoans, and they traveled all over the place. They won tag team gold in a lot of different territories. NWA included, Stampede. Eventually, they made their way to the WWF in the beginning of the 80s. And they also found success there. They were 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions. They first won the gold in 1980, beating Ivan Putski and Tito Santana. They left briefly, then they came back.
Yeah, they were trailblazers.
Yeah, they wrestled in New Japan. They worked Georgia. They came back to the WWF for a little bit longer, 83 to 85. And then we're off for a year working for other promotions. Then came back again for a few more years.
Was their family promotion already started when they started, or was it kind of in the same vein when it all kind of came together? As far as Anoa'i and that promotion in Hawaii,
I'm not sure. He officially retired from the ring in '88, so he was a very decorated tag team wrestler. Wild Samoans are a very famous tag team for those in the knowledge and love of wrestling. I remember seeing them a bit in action when I was growing up watching WWF in the mid 80s. So he's a member of the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame and WWE Hall of Fame. So it's like his sons followed in his footsteps, one of them being Roman Reigns. The other is a former WWE wrestler known as Rosie, his Roman's brother.
Unfortunately passed away as well.
Yeah, he died back sadly in 2017 due to heart failure, tragically. So, and of course he's related to the whole Bloodline family, to Kishi, to Rock. It's like they're all, So, sad to lose another wrestling legend, especially for someone prominent as Roman's dad, and he put out a pretty heartfelt tribute and thanked all the fans for their support and condolences to his family.
Yeah, but I mean, it always sucks. I mean, he was 79, right? 78.
Yeah.
And it just always sucks. But I mean, if you kept up with wrestling news and stuff on Twitter, Sika was in and out of the hospital with heart problems and stuff like that, unfortunately, and it just, I guess, everything just finally caught up to him with that. But if for also who don't know, him and his brother, the Wild Samoans, during Roman Reigns' 3-year title run, both of them came on stage and put the delay that he basically now wears to basically claim him as, that's when the tribal chief officially took place. So even though they retired in '88, they still are relevant today, not just because of what the bloodline literally that NOI bloodline has done, but also keep catapulting the bloodline storyline, which we'll get into in SmackDown as well. So RIP to, and thoughts and prayers and everything to the family. It's never fun, obviously. It's never easy, but he's not hurting anymore, as I always say. But to switch gears on just to make it and get us back into SmackDown, here is a cool video of a young Dax, from FTR, whose birthday was yesterday, I don't know how a 40-year-old's ever giddy, but you're about to see one be giddy. Here you go.
What are you doing here? What? What is what? I was like, who? What? No. What are you doing? Oh my god. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's a young Bret Hart meeting an old Dax.
Yep.
So that's really cool.
For
those who don't know, FTR are like the biggest Bret Hart fans. When him and Natty were on stage and that one douchebag rushed the stage, FTR
FTR beat the fuck out of that guy.
Beat the crap out of him. If you watch the behind the scenes of a fan video, I think it wasn't Dax, but one of them just literally, like, they were holding him and then he just did an uppercut and just knocked the crap out of him.
They knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, so they were like one of the first ones to rush.
There was a lot of people who loved Bret Hart there at that, because that was the night they inducted Natty's father, Jimmy Anvil Neidhart, into the Hall of Fame, and some whack job tried to get close to Bret, and wrong time, dude, wrong place, wrong time. So there's a lot of people who love Bret there. It's like FTR and a couple others, and they got their shots on that piece of crap.
Oh yeah, that was the last time they didn't have barricades up for the fans.
Yeah. They made sure to take proper security precautions.
Yeah.
After that particular Hall of Fame ceremony.
But yeah, it was literally like Big E. It was like Big E, FTR, and Ronda Rousey's husband. They're like the first to like tackle that, like to get after that guy.
Yeah.
Believe that. But that was really cool of Bret being able to be there for Dax on his 40th birthday. So, all right, well, let's move on to the week that was, and this was a fun ass week of wrestling. So here we go with SmackDown.
Yeah. All right, here's a recap of what happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Since it was in Chicago, the show opened with CM Punk come out to cut a promo. Well, it seemed like he was going to lead to announcing if he had been medically cured to return to the ring or not. Ran down Drew McIntyre about costing him the title in Clash of the Castle last week. Paul Heyman came out to interrupt. He warned CM Punk that the Blonde Soul Skull was not happy with him, and he warned him that to leave quickly before the Bloodline would do something to him. But they came out. Words were exchanged. The Bloodline went to attack, but Cody came out with baseball bats, and so he and CM Punk were able to hold off the Bloodline for the moment. Then we had a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green versus Michi Mia Yim. Chelsea Green pulled off the upset, picking up the victory, and so she's in Money in the Bank. Blair Davenport had words with Bayley in the back, promising that she was going to get into Money in the Bank and win the briefcase, and will be coming for her. In the back, Grayson Waller was being interviewed, but it was interrupted by DIY about what happened last week with Austin Theory. Words were exchanged, but then all of a sudden, sounds like there was banging on the door behind them. The door opened to dramatically reveal a bloody CM Punk lying on the ground and a very angry Drew McIntyre standing over him. Drew picked up Punk, carried him all the way through the back, through Gorilla, out into the arena, dumped him like a bad habit, and then took the friendship bracelet with AJ and Larry's name on it, leaving Punk in a bloody mess. Punk was put on an ambulance and taken out of the arena. And then we had another Money in the Bank qualifying match, this time for the men. Carmelo Hayes versus Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. Bloodline shenanigans happened during this match. And as a result, Carmelo Hayes was able to get a surprise roll up on Randy Orton to pick up the victory and qualify for Money in the Bank. LA Knight called out Logan Paul. Santos Escobar responded instead and got laid out. But Logan Paul sneak attacked LA Knight and laid him out with his patented right-hand punch. Then we had another Money in the Bank qualifying match for the men. Andrade taking on Grayson Waller and Kevin Owens. The Bloodline attacked Kevin Owens before he could even get into the ring, injuring his knee, which affected his performance in the match. In the end, Andrade countered Grayson's rolling finishing move with his own to pick up the victory, and he's in Money in the Bank. Tiffany Stratton had words with Mia Yim, and when they were about to get into a fight, Nia Jax came up and laid out Mia Yim, backing Tiffany up. Then we had the main event that Solo had wanted, that probably going to happen. Entering Cody Rhodes' challenge. Cody Rhodes taking on Solo Sikoa. Match didn't last long. It ended up in disqualification, of course, because of the attack by the Bloodline. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens came out to make the save, and it became a 3-on-3 fight. The face had the advantage. They cornered Solo in the corner. He was begging off, but then his worry turned to smile, as from out of nowhere, Jacob Fatu made his debut. He attacked the baby faces, laid them all out. Cody tried to fight back, but Jacob took him out, put him on the announce table, and then did a flying splash off the top rope, putting Cody Rhodes through the announce desk. So then Jacob Fatu got in the ring. Solo gave him a hug, and he stood with the rest of the new Bloodline, officially making his debut and joining the Bloodline. So that's all that happened on a very memorable and eventful Friday Night Smackdown.
So, start the show.
Woo!
Punk, yeah. I mean, this whole week is just exactly that reaction. The past 2 weeks, we're like, how can they? Oh, okay. And then AEW, too. But we'll get into that because I thought that was a great show, too. Just solid 2 weeks of wrestling, by the way. Applause to both brands. They did it. You did it. Two weeks in a row. You did it. You did it. Me and Justin are gonna figure it out. We're gonna call Tony and fix your ratings. But besides the point, because you put in 2 solid shows week back to back. But this is not that time right now. We're talking about SmackDown.
Yeah, it was like the memes run around from like back in the day when the new comical DX that Triple H and HBK were doing in the mid 2000s. So they were showing them apron outfits. Yeah, they're cooking. It's like,
right.
last week they were cooking.
Oh, geez, they're deep frying these bitches now. Cause all right, I'm gonna start off with the first segment. Okay,
Yeah, this.
Punk comes out and Punk was just doing his typical promo at this
Yeah.
point. But a typical promo is like one of those like when like the Rolling Stones release an album, they're like, it's not that good for a Stone standard. So at first I'm like, okay, CM Punk's doing the whole, yeah, I'm CM Punk, blah blah. Isn't it great to be back here in Chicago? It's just he was playing the hits at that point, and I'm like, okay, it's still great. It's still a CM Punk promo is a CM Punk promo. But then
Right.
when I heard, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, I popped because my brain figured out, oh wait, they haven't been on TV in 7 years together. We haven't seen this, and it just took me right. Got me right back in it. And Paul and Punk just had that, and then the bloodline comes out, and Paul doing the "take me with you," and CM Punk's like, "I'm not going to let you go out like that," type of thing.
Right.
And then we were off and running, and I was like, you went from still, even if CM Punk just came out and said, "Drew sucks, I screwed you, you did it to yourself," CM Punk, Chicago, playing the hits, still would have been fine. But then when you add Paul Heyman to it and that relationship, and you do the callback, and the bloodline comes out, and CM Punk stands up for Paul, which no one else has done yet, right? So far, he's given that look to Jay. Jay doesn't care because he's been with it. CM Punk hasn't been around to see that whole thing, to see exactly what all's going on with Paul, because he really hadn't been around. He's been injured. So this is the first time that we're getting that relationship back, and he's protecting him even though he's not. But that's my thoughts on this opening segment.
This was fantastic stuff. I mean, I mean, everyone was expecting, me included, that he would talk about like if he'd gotten cleared yet or not. It looked like he was like going to get there, but then it didn't seem like he was really going there. He was just talking. He was more about like rubbing salt into McIntyre's wounds about what he did to him at Clash of the Castle, and thought it was surprised that he quit so easily. Of course, we knew he wasn't, and Punk found out the hard way. Not too much later in the show, but the Heyman stuff was very interesting. This was a really smart way to play on their history, especially when we mentioned about like how and how much he cares about CM Punk. I mean, like later in the show, I'm not gonna get to it too much, but like later in the show when he's talking with Solo, he says that he asked Roman, and Roman said agreed that the bloodline would not touch CM Punk,
right?
Because how much CM Punk means to Heyman,
right?
That he's off limits. So obviously that's why he was so concerned, because Solo and them are so unpredictable right now. He doesn't expect them to abide by Roman's wishes and saying, like, you're in danger. It's like, but also begging for help, like he tried to beg for Kevin Owens. Now he knew that CM Punk at least would be willing to listen to him because of their history, and like the hug and everything. That whole opening segment was great. And of course, like uh-oh, and bloodline look at it, and then Cody shows up at the right moment to back CM Punk up to get the bloodline to back off. Fantastic opening segment. And this was just the beginning.
The Sting Black Bat callback.
Yeah,
like I that's what I felt when Cody came out. But isn't it nice nowadays to see like baby faces supporting baby faces, and it makes sense, and not just the baby face deal with it stuff that we dealt with for the past ever, it felt like, on that. And also too, I know he's saying like take me with you, and you can tell he's how, and they haven't probably described it. It's the only thing I want.
He's like desperate.
I want them to make it make sense, because it feels like at this point Heyman's being held hostage by Solo or something, because he hasn't talked to Roman. Solo says Roman's not coming back, But why is Heyman still there? It's not like he's he's going with
because
stuff
he's
like
trying
that.
to hold he's trying to hold down the fort that he as best he could for Roman, even though
While he's gone.
Yeah.
So trying to hold it together. It sucks because the way this group is coming out, it's
because
hard
he thought that this was, things are out of control. I got to rein things in before Roman gets back. And then, Solo pulls a shocker later in the show where he's like, Roman's not coming back.
Right. And it popped the crowd too. Here's another thing.
Because the fans want Roman back. They're ready to make him one of the top baby faces right away with what's been going on.
I mean, the "We Want Roman" chants are nuts.
Yeah.
Also, going along with this after the segment, and I liked this. Here's what Triple H does so well, better than any booker I've ever seen, is you have to pay attention to everything on the screen. And he understands every show has something other than NXT, which I have my problems with. We've talked about that last show as far as the continuity. But as far as Raw to SmackDown to pay-per-view to SmackDown to Raw, as far as that continuity, Triple H is doing very well with that, of just laying little things in the background you have to pay attention to. But on this show, after the White Six debuted, he brought back more security, all that stuff. So they're playing on the fact that we know what happened on Raw, which typically never happened in the other era, right? We never saw those little things. It was, the next show, there might be some, story beats, but there's never recognition of what happened on another brand. Typically, we had that recognition here, and then they played on it with the McIntyre thing. That was the better part too, is because you saw that beating and everyone was like, "Oh crap, the Wyatt Six are here," and then it slowly comes up, and you see Punk in a bloody mess, and McIntyre standing over him. Now, and they had to do their oneer, I guess, but you have all this security, and this guy is dead in this guy's arms, and on this guy's shoulders, and you let him just walk all the way out to the ring before you stopped him. That being said, I took that out. I took out that realism. I didn't care because that was badass what happened. Thoughts?
Pretty much.
So, I mean, your boy quits, comes back, steals his bracelet.
The way that this unfolded was amazing. Because it came out of nowhere. Because it's like he had this segment where Grayson Waller is jaw jacking with DIY, and all of a sudden you hear right against the door, and even they're like, what's that? And then the door slowly raises, and you see CM Punk, and then as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, is that my boy? And then it lifts up enough that you see it's Drew McIntyre standing over him.
Yeah,
he's a complete bloody mess. I love how nobody tries to stop.
No, they're just like, well, I'm not messing with it.
He even goes through Gorilla past Triple H and Bruce Pritchard them, and they don't say anything or try to stop.
Not messing with it. And I think that adds to McIntyre, and it adds to the feud. Even though, that's what thing is. I was in between of you have all the security. Shouldn't someone stop this guy? They just apparently committed assault, all that. But we already know it's WWE, so we took our minds out of that, out of the actual realism of that situation. And we put ourselves in what we're watching, and it's just showing how much this feud that has no titles, has no belts,
hasn't even had a match yet.
Hadn't even a match yet. And these guys are going to headline every show because of how they built this. And when one goes one way, one goes, "Oh, I got you," the other one keeps going.
Just when you think you can't go to another level, him laying out CM Punk like this, which made perfect sense. I had a feeling this was going to happen, especially since he was in Chicago. But then he steals the friendship bracelet with AJ and Larry's name on it.
Yeah,
it's like making it even more personal.
Yeah, it's just this is almost. I thought I'd never see a feud better than CM Punk and MJF. Congratulations!
This is reaching that level that his feud with MJF.
Yeah.
And just hopefully the matches are gonna deliver.
That's the thing. It's just Punk's not getting any younger, but they're both really good.
Yeah.
And Drew's at the height of his powers right now.
Mm-hmm.
With that. Chelsea Green.
This was
right?
a surprise. This was the first of many surprises.
This is the first mini surprise. And here's a theme of the show. If your entrance wasn't shown on SmackDown, you were winning your match. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing of going around because they go against. That's another thing with the way it was booked is, you typically, this guy didn't get an entrance, they're losing. No. You think you know, but you have no idea. Welcome to
because everyone would expect Bianca to win this being ladder match.
Right.
Nope.
Chelsea Green. And I like what they're doing right now. We'll get on to Raw. I've got a little issues, but I like what they're doing right now with both ladder matches because they're not putting the obvious person. They're putting their mid-carders.
They're putting new faces in there.
They're putting new faces and they're putting mid-carders because, like Heyman said,
people who deserve to get the spotlight.
Right. People that all right, you've worked, like Chelsea Green has been working her ass off.
She has.
And she kills it every time she's on screen.
Also, fun fact, she's Canadian, so even though she's a heel, she's probably going to get a lot of love from the Toronto fans.
Yeah. And also, too, going back to it, speaking about heel and face, who's the heel and face in CM Punk and Drew's feud?
I think CM Punk is still the face.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think there's a heel or face. I just think it's just like, let's just see these two dudes just go at it. Because they're both having face
but
type of...
The hate now is like at such a peak level. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, seeing Chelsea get the nod, and then, to me, well, we'll get to that, because I think it was one of the best triple threat matches ever, but I figured Carmelo would somehow or another get this, because he needs it.
I did too.
We talked about that he needs it, because after LA Knight just destroyed him.
Right. It didn't make sense for either, because as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, Randy and Tama Tonga, because of what's going on with the Bloodline, are going to cancel each other out. So Carmelo's probably going to find a way to win, and he did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And it's still a solid match.
The other surprise was Andrade winning the other triple threat.
Yeah. No, that was what I was getting to. Holy shit, this triple threat was great.
That triple threat was awesome.
Even
with Kevin Owens selling a hurt leg from the Bloodline, who jumped in before the match even started. That finish where Waller went for his rolling flatliner and Andrade countered it in mid move. That was a dope finish.
The past two matches that I've seen Grayson Waller in against Johnny and this triple threat, I did not realize how athletic he is and how professional he is on getting to his spots.
Yeah,
because him and Johnny, we know Johnny can go, and we've seen. And I'm not as familiar with, it's like that meme. Like, I wasn't familiar with your game.
Like, Kevin KO is awesome.
KO. Andretti's awesome.
Really good.
Yeah, but Grayson. But yes,
hello, GIF, our buddy GIF Chris Stiller. Yes, he does have all the tools, and he didn't need this one because he's been doing a lot of jobs lately, and
LA Knight did not do him
by LA Knight. He needed this.
LA Knight was torched his ass.
I don't think he's gonna win Money in the Bank, but if he has a really good showing in the match, that's a good thing. And I totally agree. I think she's gotten to the point where she's one of the best heel talents they got on the roster right now with what she does with her character work. And Piper Niven has also said that teaming with Chelsea has been one of the best things for her in her WWE career.
She kind of lucked into it, but I don't care how it happens.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was just like they were thrown together because Chelsea's regular partner and fellow tag champion Sonya Deville went out with an ACL injury, and it's like they plugged Piper in to replace her, and it ended up being awesome. Like last year, I fucking loved it for Halloween when they dressed up as the fucking Heart Foundation.
Right.
It's like Piper Niven did a hell of a job. Anvil impersonation. It was great.
Yeah. Speaking about that, so I guess next pay-per-view, that's AJ Styles' next match. It's the face that runs the place versus Mr. Smackdown, right? I mean, it's pretty much with that. But yeah, this match, Jesus Christ, this triple threat was great. And so shout out to that. If built right, Chelsea and Piper feud,
Yeah,
it's just the thing is we've not. Chelsea needs the brief right now. I'm kind of leaning towards Chelsea getting the briefcase because it makes sense on how she could get it, and they can do a lot of character work with it. But I hope, before you go, I hope that she doesn't fall into the Carmella with the briefcase situation.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I think it belongs to my girl Tiffy. I think it's Tiffy's time to win the briefcase.
But who really?
I'm expecting her to qualify for the match tomorrow.
Who really needs it more, Tiffy or Chelsea?
I think Tiffany, because I think that's gonna. The way that they've set things up, especially with her and Nia Jax kind of like forming this like alliance, she's made it clear to Bayley she's coming for her. So what better way to make things even worse for Bayley is she's already got the problem of having to deal with Nia Jax at SummerSlam. But then if Tiffany wins the briefcase, now she's got like a two-headed problem. Because not only is she trying to figure out how she's going to beat Nia Jax at SummerSlam, she has to have eyes in the back of her head wondering when if Tiffany has the briefcase, when she's going to cash it in.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If Chelsea wins the briefcase, remember, it's like I don't see her successfully cashing in.
You don't have not every woman has successfully cashed in their Money in the Bank. By the way,
I don't trust them to give her that opportunity. I see them letting Tiffany be able to cash in successfully rather than. Chelsea.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Tiffany. The reason I'm saying this is because typically you give the Money in the Bank to, like, it makes sense for Damian Priest rather than LA Knight. I'll give that argument. Okay, even though LA Knight.
I know we talked about last year. Like everyone, including me, wanted LA Knight to win the briefcase, and the London fans really wanted LA Knight to win that match. It's like he was the most over guy in that match, but it ended up being the right call to give it to Damian Priest, even though it took a really long time for him to cash in.
Right. It's the same thing. I feel the same thing with, and I know you said neither, GIF, and if you have someone else in mind, please let us know. But here's my argument of why it's Chelsea over Tiffy is because of that same situation. We know Tiffy's destined to. I mean, her talent is way too good. She's decent enough on the mic, but her talent and personality and stuff like that is just way too good. She's going to be a top female wrestler, one of the top females that we think of all time. Chelsea needs the rub of the briefcase, and the work that she can do with the briefcase, I think, will catapult her. Whereas Tiffany's just going to get there because she's just that damn good.
No, that's a solid argument. It's like I said, my only caveat is I trust them to let Tiffy have a successful cash in more than Chelsea, because I don't know if they're going to let Chelsea have a run with the title just yet.
I'm with that. I can see that too, but I'm just saying
because it's only merit. It's like you can tell how much it's like they think of Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is actually going to be WWE champion. It's not a question of if; it's just a matter of when.
Right. But do you ask that about Chelsea? No.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like
that's why like a Money in the Bank and the way it's being presented right now.
Let me put it this way: as much as I want Tiffany to win because I love Tiffany, I will not be mad if Chelsea wins. I'll be happy for her. She's the only other person that's currently getting house sales. I'm assuming Tiffany's going to be in because of just who she's facing. I think it's pretty. She's definitely going to get into the match. Other people who are in there now, who have outside of Tiffany, Chelsea's the only one that I think those are the only two I feel like have the best shot of winning. Is two of them.
Yeah, but I just feel like
as much as I like Lyra, I don't think they're ready for that yet. And also, it's Liv is only going to hold on to that title until Rhea comes back,
and
Rhea's going to destroy Liv to take the title back.
Well, Io just got into it this week, right?
Yeah, and Io won it last year. She's not going to win it again.
But you cannot have a Money in the Bank and not have Io in it. So
No, she's in there for a reason.
Right. It's kind of the same thing with Meechin in the NXT women's situation.
Yeah.
Like you have to have that stalwart in there. But yeah, no. I like this is a good this is why WWE is fun now, is because we're having these like next stars up instead of just giving it to like Brock Lesnar or someone that really doesn't need it. You give it to you're trying to build more stars, and Triple H understands that. So figure it out with Dijak, because that still makes no sense. Anyway, all right, last segment.
Oh man!
Wow. So going into this match,
talk about legit surprise that no one saw coming.
We thought it was going to be taller than Tala Tonga.
Well, it's funny. It's like it's been out there for months that Jacob Fatu had signed, and that it's only a matter of time for it comes. Where, of course, we were like, okay, you would think they were going to save it for pay-per-view like they did with Tama Tonga's brother. No, they did just a random SmackDown on the way to Money in the Bank. It's like, and it was done so perfectly. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it. It wasn't until because I was like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Because Solo's like, oh, he's like doing like a Ric Flair, like, no, okay, no, it's like, don't hurt me. And I'm like, what's up with that? And then he lifts up his face and he's smiling. And I was like, oh shit, it's a trap. Who is it? And as soon as Orton got super kicked in the face, I was like, it's Jacob Fatu, holy shit.
No, I said the same thing. I was like, is it Tala? Is it Tala? Holy shit, it's Jacob. They're doing Jacob on a SmackDown? Like, I was going through the whole thing. And here's the thing.
And
did they book him freaking stronger than shit?
He was a wrecking machine. He laid them all out. Not only did he spear Orton through the barricade, then he
Samoan dropped KO.
Yeah, Samoan dropped KO onto the steel steps and then splashed Cody through the table, announce desk, off the top rope, which unfortunately busted two of Cody's ribs. He's
allegedly, but
allegedly, I think hopefully he's exaggerating.
Yeah.
But he was a wrecking machine, and just like the look, the reaction of the announcers, and like Heyman's face, it's just fantastic. So it's not like, oh man. So now Solo's got, not only he's got the Girls of Destiny, now he's got Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, on his side. It's like, damn, dude. For people who are saying like kind of like getting a little out with the Soul-led bloodline, even with Girls of Destiny coming in, it's like now that Jacob Fatu is on their side, it's like, hello.
Right. And the thing is here's another thing. All right. The comment section is getting weird.
Yeah. Let's can we go ahead and ban that person?
Yeah. I don't know who you are, but don't do that.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. This is why we need you as a mod. Anyway,
we might as well make GIF a mod.
That's what I've been trying to do, but I want GIF as a mod, but that's not here to there. What I was gonna say is the way I liked it too is because it lets you know that Solo's still not on Cody's level. Because if you saw like the match, the way it went, Cody kind of beat the crap out of him. Will let you know that Solo isn't there yet, and Solo needs the rest of the bloodline. And it makes the bloodline with Solo, it's like, how did you get all of these, werewolves and whatever word you want to use, right?
And we also got to talk about what he said to Heyman, that Roman's not coming back. That's a clear indication that he's feeding a lot of bullshit to Heyman, that he's trying to do a hostile takeover. And put himself in a position where Roman's not going to be able to do anything when he comes back, because these guys are on his side. They're loyal to him, not to Roman.
Well, they're loyal to The Rock. Are we really going to get the Usos, Roman, and Sammy versus these four?
Unless there's another member of the family that can join that side with Roman and the Usos that we don't know about yet.
I mean, you saw with Umanga's. Is it Umanga's son?
Be
think
step
it
back for Sammy to get involved in this. Sammy deserves his own like. So I don't know. We'll find out because like.
But you know that's money
Because
though.
eventually they're gonna. But Jay's not involved yet because like they haven't targeted Jay yet. I think it's only a matter of time before they go after Jay. Don't be surprised if something. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens at Money in the Bank because of the ladder match.
Well, it's. I mean, it's when we're like, oh, it's gonna be Jay, and then the reports are it's gonna be Jay. Two different debuts, man. I'll say that it's hard to.
I'm gonna lean toward Jacobs because it was a surprise. Whereas like we knew that the Wyatts weren't going to debut that night, just didn't know how effective it was going to be. Whereas Jacob Fatu's debut, even though we knew it was coming, we didn't know
when.
So yeah, we didn't know when.
I'll give that. I will say this.
I'll give the slight edge to Jacob Fatu's
edge, and we'll. I guess we'll do that. We'll tease it.
The Wyatt stuff hit a more of a home run with what they did with the videotape and Bo Dallas.
And that's a great segue because I thought the Wyatt 6 was a great debut. I know GIF wasn't a fan of it, but this videotape segment that they did, I've never went through so much emotion, and we're about to get into it. Here's the Raw recap.
Yep. All right, here's what happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Michael Cole announced that Pat McAfee would not be there tonight, and The Miz would be with him on commentary. Drew McIntyre came out to cut a promo. Told all the people in the arena who chant CM Punk's name that they are dead to him now. He spoke directly to Punk through the camera and told them that he was happy he did this to him, and he wanted him to be uncomfortable and in pain. Showed off the friendship bracelet with AJ and Larry's name on it. He's going to continue to succeeding while Punk sits at home hurt, and he's going to qualify for Money in the Bank and then cash in and win the World Heavyweight Championship once again. Then we had Braun Breaker taking on Ludwig Kaiser. Good match. Ludwig Kaiser ended up winning by disqualification because Sheamus came out to attack. Sheamus went to powerbomb Kaiser through the announce desk, but Braun speared him while he was putting Kaiser up for the powerbomb, laying them both out. Dave Priest confronted Dominic Mysterio about the Liv Morgan situation, especially when they found out that she had given them gifts to the team. He told Damien he was going to handle it, and he told the rest of the guys to finally take care of the Braun Strowman problem. Braun Breaker banged on Adam Pearce's office door, so he was tired of people butting into his business, trying to get a title shot against Sami Zayn for the Continental title. Sami walked up and told Braun, anytime, anywhere, just name the place, he'll give him a shot. And Braun challenged him to put the title on the line at Money in the Bank. Sami agreed, and then Pearce made it official. And then we had women's qualifying Money in the Bank match. Kairi Sane taking on Lyra Valkyria and Shayna Baszler. Lyra Valkyria picked up the victory with her finisher on Kairi Sane to qualify for Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre demanded Adam Pearce immediately put him into the Money in the Bank match, but Pearce said he didn't deserve that, and he'll need to earn his way in, and it was later revealed that he would be in a qualifying match next week. And Dominic Mysterio confronted Liv about what's going on and claims that Rhea Ripley never cared for him the way that he deserves, and she asked Daddy Dom to come on down so he can give him another gift. In the ring, Selena Vega came out, had words. Dominic came out, so did Rey Mysterio. Things all degenerated to the point Chad Gable and Bayley cleared for the Money in the Bank qualifying match, which came up next as he took on Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed. Chad Gable picked up the victory thanks to Judgment Day swarming Strowman outside the ring and taking him out, allowing him to hit a moonsault on Bronson for the victory. While Gable was celebrating after the match, The lights went out, saying that the Wyatts were coming right. Nikki Cross sauntered into the ring, and Chad Gable immediately left in panic. She then went over and gave Michael Cole a box at the announce desk. Michael Cole later revealed that it was a addressed to McAfee with a VH tape inside labeled Playmate. He said he gave it to the production staff to roll the tape. Gable went up to Otis and the rest of the Calf Academy. He said that after what happened last week, his life flashed before eyes, he realized that he had done them wrong lately and apologized. Otis appreciated it, but said that they're still done. Maxine said maybe she'll try to talk to him. Then Diamond Mine, the Creeds, and Ivan Al came up and asked Chad if he's okay, and he said no, he needs help. Foreshadowing. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn took on Kaden Carter and Katan Chance in a non-title match. Women's tag titles down the line. Unholy Union picked up the victory, but Damage Control came out and attacked both teams and laid them out. Then we had David Priest come out to cut a promo. Seth Rollins came out to respond. They exchanged words, and eventually Seth issued a challenge that after Damian issued one, they added steps to the match. Money in the Bank. If Damian wins, Seth can't challenge for the title again while he's got it. But if Seth wins, Priest has to leave Judgment Day. While they're talking, the Wing General Walter came out, told him he was looking forward to watching the match, but told him that whoever was going to win had a date with him to lose the title at SummerSlam. The tape was played, revealing Bo Dallas being interviewed by Uncle Howdy in the Firefly Funhouse, talking about everything that had happened with Bray's death. Uncle Howdy asked him if he was trying to exploit his brother's legacy. Bo says all he ever wanted was to be like his brother, and not one person feels like he feels. But now he's going to try to forget, but he decided to make himself remember, and everyone, Uncle Howdy agrees and smiles. Very creepy, good stuff. Karrion Kross defeated Kofi Kingston in a one-on-one match thanks to a distraction of Xavier Woods being attacked by Authors of Pain in the Back. Then we had the main event, Awesome Truth defending the World Tag Team titles against the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Liv Morgan came out, distracted R-Truth, and that allowed Judgment Day to capitalize and pick up the victory and win the tag team titles, close out the show. So that's all that happened this week on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
All right, I'm not going to bear the lead because we're going to talk about Wyatt, but real quick, for those who don't know, the reason Pat McAfee wasn't on the show wasn't because, unfortunately, we thought it was a storyline reason because we watched Pat McAfee show. Wyatt's were kind of doing the you lied and stuff was going out and stuff like that. We thought this was related. The fact that Pat wasn't on the show, it just made sense. They were in Indianapolis. We thought that Pat was going to, wasn't on the show because of the Wyatts attacked him or something like that. Unfortunately, it turned out that after, because Triple H was on the show, on Pat McAfee's show, go watch that interview. It's a great interview. That was a really good quote that he had about that we're here to make, like, it's a wrestling movie. I forget exactly what he was talking about. Go watch that. Michael Cole was on the show. But unfortunately, the next day, it turned out that Pat McAfee's father-in-law passed away that day after his Pat McAfee show went off the air. And they thought it was a bacterial, infection that he had. They thought they solved it. And then next thing you know, he took the turn for the worse and unfortunately didn't make it. So that's why Pat McAfee was not in the show. If you look in the background, for those who don't know, don't follow Pat McAfee's show, if you look right behind Michael Cole, it's his crew, by the way. If you don't know, look at Raw. That's Pat McAfee's crew behind them with Boston Connor, a couple other guys. So it wasn't like Pat didn't want to be there and wasn't a storyline thing. That was the only reason I was like, this isn't a storyline thing, because the rest of the guys are there if they're trying to do the whole Pat McAfee show thing. That being said, promo, vignette, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last time I was left kind of speechless of what I just watched, and the layers and the detail that went into it. And it was freaking Bo Dallas at the end of it. And he went through, and I mean, and Uncle Howdy, the only issue, I'm like, does Uncle Howdy have that weird distorted voice like Kane had a little thing when he first started out? Do you do that? But this put realism. That first, yes, it's spooky and there's smoke and stuff like that, and Nikki is crawling like, she's crawling like the ring and whatnot. But they went right for the, I'm nothing. And how did it feel when your brother died? And just like, Jesus, they went there.
Yeah, like as soon as Uncle Howdy said that to him, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? It's like that was really powerful stuff, that videotape interview, and the way it was made to look like an old VHS tape.
Right.
Brilliant stuff. And having them be in the Firefly Funhouse was another nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good explanation of why Bo is doing this. It's like a peek inside of his head. And it's like, I think this is a good first step about what's motivating him and the rest of the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. and it's kind of a play for all you hip hop fans out there. This is kind of a play on D12, because the reason there are 12 of them is because there's 6 members, but there's an alter ego with each one. So it's Eminem, Slim Shady, and so forth. So this is kind of a play on like a D12 thing. That's why they called it D12, because it's Detroit 12, because there's a personality other than the actual person. We've got that duality within Bo and Uncle Howdy. Are we going to get a vignette of every one of them? I don't think so. But I understand this was a great next step. And the fact that I've gone back and watched it multiple times, and I understand it's not for everybody. This type of thing is just, especially if you're new to wrestling, you're like, what the frick did I just watch? And you're just trying to explain like the layers to it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is heavy storytelling with what this is. But his line about what am I supposed to do? Just make him a mausoleum, and the fact that he just like, what does it feel like? He like Uncle Howdy even like asked him about, like, it was so good that I forgot that that's Bo Dallas being Uncle Howdy talking to Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Right. No, this wasn't even Uncle Howdy talking to Bo Dallas. This was Uncle Howdy talking to Taylor Wood.
Yeah. It's like it's like it. This might not have been easy, bringing real life stuff like that into this, but that's what makes it more effective.
It needed it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So props to Bo Dallas and the whole presentation is fantastic.
Yeah.
And, if you're not the only one, actually, there's other people I've seen who are not like, this is not going to work for everyone.
No.
It's like, I'm not super into it. I think it's very interesting so far. We'll see where it goes.
I like all that weird shit.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, and there's nothing wrong if it doesn't work for you.
No.
It's like
the only reason it worked for me so much is because we said on the last show, and the one that I've always stuck to is, yes, it's spooky. I'm hoping they don't lean too far into the supernatural stuff.
Supernatural,
and so far,
as long as they keep the spookiness, but not
the like Kane and Undertaker are an outlier.
Yeah,
typically, Bray. We loved Bray when it was the Wyatt family and
when he was the
cult leader and stuff like that. When it got into the inner worlds and the stuff,
they need to have Bo be like the cult leader type of Bray,
right? And I think that's what it is, and that's why they attack Chad and stuff like that. But I also understand
because
the reason I like this
family,
right, is because he was mistreating his family, and because you don't appreciate what you have.
Yep.
I had what I needed, and it was taken from me. and you're mistreating something that's a gift.
Yep.
And
So,
that's why that
yeah.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what this and the reason I like this too is because I'm like, dude, Bo, you better nail this, because this is
He has to.
he has to nail it. And this was like, damn, because you hear I
We
watched
needed
online
this-
and I watched a lot of
we needed
reactions to it, and a lot of people are like, that is the
Damn.
best. I didn't know Bo could act like that. I was like, I don't think he's acting, because they're asking him like, yes, there is acting to it, but the way it's shot and put together was, I mean, just, yes, it's cinema and yada yada. We hear all that stuff, but this, what their debut was like, I thought it was a little hokey. I will say that, kind of looking back at it, I still loved it, but I thought it was a little hokey. This brought realism to the spooky, and that's exactly what this needed. Now, it's not for everybody, and I get with you, Gif, but it's not for everybody. That being said, I like the way this show started, and McIntyre just walking out without even entrance music, and just went, and they're like, oh, and like Miz just like did that. So I'll let you take it away on your boy's promo at the beginning with the friendship bracelet and all that. I'll let you take the stage here,
So,
because I know you love this.
yeah, no, I mean this, and then the video we put out just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Where
I thought it was today, with him on like the
know.
bike or whatever, just saying,
You're just exercising at home and just the shit talking.
yeah.
It's it just, I was like, this is so good. And it's like he did a good job of making it more personal by emphasizing that I know how much this means to you, and I took it from you, and I hope you're suffering because I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. So, I mean, McIntyre's probably going to get into Money in the Bank, but then see how
Punk's going to screw him. Yeah. It's good stuff.
It is so good.
Did they ever detail? Yeah, it's definitely Drew's greatest feud. I mean, by far.
Oh, Jesus, absolutely. Yeah. I liked his feud with Orton over the WWE title when he was champion, but this blows this out of the water.
Oh God! When people are like, do you think CM Punk still has it?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. And guess what? He's doing it with only wrestling like 1.5 matches. It's just different when it comes to CM Punk, because he's already gotten that draw, and he knows how to do things. McIntyre has stepped up, knows how to do things.
Yeah. So this is just
that was
a great way to open the show.
Great way to open show.
Braun versus Kaiser, great match. Apparently Kaiser got injured, which sucks.
Did anybody figure out what the injury was?
No, but you could tell he was definitely like clutching his side a little bit after the one spot. Don't know how serious this is. He was supposed to be in that one of the qualifiers next week, but he got pulled.
Gotcha.
So hopefully it's not too serious.
One day,
that was badass where Braun just speared Sheamus while he was trying to powerbomb Kaiser through the announce desk.
It was I will say this, that was badass. It was kind of unfortunate because I think it was because of Kaiser's injury, Sheamus had to like double clutch to get him up.
Yes.
Because I was like, at first I'm like, I think the Braun's about to spear Sheamus. And then he struggled to get him up. I'm like, yeah, Braun's about to spear Sheamus. It was kind of a telling thing. It just, that's very nitpicky. Just because I've watched long enough to know, like, okay, so Sheamus DQ'd because of the DQ last time, so therefore here comes the spear, and it was a little.
I definitely noticed that the fans were definitely into the women's triple threat: Lyra, Kairi Sane, and Shayna. They seem it's like they're definitely warming up to Lyra a little bit more, which is good. Glad she won. She's definitely not going to win Money in the Bank, but it's like it's a good opportunity for them to continue to highlight her and give her a chance to win the fans over more.
And I really like the way they developed her entrance with her coming through the smoke.
Yeah.
I really like the way they've done that. Really good stuff. All right, Liv Morgan was in 5 segments.
Yeah,
I think a good thing. I think every time she was on screen, it was relevant.
Yes.
Which is crazy when we talked about why was Chris Jericho in 4 segments and did nothing. Every time she was on screen, it progressed something.
Yeah, and then we got, setting up this feud, this little mini feud with Selena Vega, and that draws, of course, Dom's father into the mix because, it's like, he's friends with Selena in the LWO. The Judgment Day had a big day. It's like, and once again, Liv helps them out in a big time. It's like she's literally taking everything. I mean, she's basically replacing Rhea in Judgment Day, and pretty soon it's only a matter of time before Dominic gives in to temptation. It's like, and she has him as well. So it's like, the revenge tour is almost complete at this point. It is.
Did you think the segment with Dom and Selena? Oh, go ahead.
But it's more than just Dom. I mean, she came out. She was having some alone time with Finn in that locker room, baby.
Yeah, she. Hey, man, I wish someone would buy me.
That's some stuff that Damon should be worried about, man.
Right. I wish some woman would buy me a PS5 and a plate full of nuggets. A platter. No, it wasn't a plate. It was a platter.
Card. He's been spotted with Liv before, and then this. It's like, it's like you better know what you're getting into, Dom.
Right. Did you think? Here's the thing. Did you? Because I was watching it. I'm like, the Dom, Selena, Liv situation. That promo was a little clunky. Just a little clunky.
Yeah, it was a bit clunky. Yeah.
I knew what the end game was, so it didn't really take me out of it. But I was like, a little clunky. Which brings me to the Gable Strowman Reed, and why I say it was clunky. I think Reed got either sick, got injured, or something, because the dude looked blown up by the end of that match.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay too. Hope there's nothing wrong with him.
Bronson didn't even. Strowman didn't even touch him when he did his thing, and he just and you can tell at the end of the match he wasn't selling right. He just looked blown up. Like it just something was off.
Yeah, it's almost a little off. I was concerned. Very interesting that Chad's in the ladder match. It's like I know a lot of people like to see Jay win the briefcase, but I wouldn't count out Gable getting his hands on the briefcase and then using that to get his hands on the Continental title. Because once again, they foreshadowed the new Alpha Academy. Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile came up to him and were like, "Hey, are you okay?" It's foreshadowing, baby. It's only a matter of time.
Okay, so a couple of things. I was going to go back to the Strowman, the match. Maybe just me, the way I was watching it.
To get Strowman out of the match and not have him lose by having Judgment Day like swarm him.
Right, I understand. Like that, I get that. I'm with that 100%. The problem is for the time that they showed Judgment Day beating the crap out of Strowman, Reed was still on the ground. We didn't see another move that he took.
Yeah, it's like he was down there for a while before Chad finally hit the moonsault, which is a little weird.
Yeah, that was the weird part. Was like not only did I feel like towards the end of the match Reed was either injured or got blown up, which Reed's never looked blown up since I've seen him. And then the fact that we showed Braun getting, I think something was wrong with Reed because they would have not shown Strowman getting beat up that long just to have Chad do the moonsault and Reed still being on the ground that long. Something had to have happened to Reed. Unless, you get what I'm saying? With that?
Yeah.
Like something happened. But yeah, no. And also too, maybe just because my fan fiction that I had, Otis finally turning on Gable and then the Creed brothers come out with Ivy now or something and just turn on that way. But
yeah, I'm interested to see when the turn's going to happen. It's only a matter of time at this point.
Yeah. I mean, but at least they laid the seeds and not just the way we booked it in our head was, the Creed brothers come out after Otis stands up, and then the Creed brothers come out, and Ivy now comes out and beats the crap out of them, and then Chad the next day, next Raw or whatever, just like does the speech that we think he's going to do. But, all right. So, do you want to talk anything about the Dawn and Fire match?
No, it's like it was like it was a really short match, and it was the storyline. It was just storyline related because Damage Control came out, attacked them. It's like yeah. It was kind of I was disappointed by that.
Yeah,
Ladies deserve more time than that.
Yeah, and also too, during Dakota Kai's stream that she does on Twitch or whatever, someone asked her about where she kind of started crying because she's like, I've worked my ass off, I need a singles run, and she's like, that was like just on her Twitch stream said that
she does, and that's why I'm hoping that she wins that Money in the Bank qualifier next week.
Mm-hmm. Dakota definitely needs that. Give it to Dakota. Come on.
Yeah.
Which will do the rift in Damage Control, which
it'll add, because it'll also the match that will add more to the Damage Control issues.
Yeah. All right. So Seth and Damian. Solid promo.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of if I beat you, then you leave.
I don't know why they need. I don't know why they add this stip. I think it's this stip was added more. This was more about putting. This is about Damien's eventually split.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they did it. I just never liked that stip, just because of again PTSD from the other regime.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going to happen. It's like is Seth going to take it and then only just a job to Gunther, or is Priest going to somehow survive and then job to Gunther?
You can't have Priest lose to Seth just to have Seth lose to Gunther.
I think that's why I think Priest is going to win.
And I liked how Gunther came out, which is like whoever wins.
No. I've been waiting for the General to return. He took a little time off after he won King of the Ring. I love that he came back and was like, this is all nice and everything, but just remember, whoever wins, I'm gonna destroy you at SummerSlam and take the title. See ya.
Yeah. So
and that's exactly how Gunther operates. Because he's got that confidence. He's just like, this is all nice and everything, but it's like whoever wins, your ass is mine at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Thank God we don't have.
Yeah, thank God. I'm glad that's
also bring back Broken Dreams.
Yeah, no, it's like seriously, bring back Broken Dreams, man.
I just think they don't want to pay Jim Johnston.
maybe that's it. Maybe they just want to pay the money.
They don't want to pay the money. Let's have like the worst producers of Death, whatever the hell their names are.
I mean, they shell out the money for Living Color for CM Punk.
Living Color for CM Punk for Cult of Personality. Dude, Broken Dreams. I listen to that just on a regular basis. Much less Drew's interest. That's good, especially where Drew is right now and the way he's struck.
They better. I think it'd be perfect to bust that out for when the feud officially kicks off. When they get in it's the next level when they get into the ring. Dude, it's like please. It's
like the Demon or something.
Didn't care for Karrion Kross in the.
I was gonna say like, hey, Karrion Kross is on the show.
Yeah, didn't care for it.
Yeah, did you know he beat 7 world champions? I don't care. I honestly don't care.
I hate to say it because I like a lot of the people involved, but it's like it's just not working for me.
Without a lack of trying, they're trying.
It's not working for me, brother.
It ain't working for me, brother. It ain't. Speaking of ain't working for me, was unfortunately Truth and Miz weren't working for me at this point.
No, I was about to say, thank God.
I'm excited that they took the title titles because they didn't know.
I love Truth and I like the Miz.
They ran scores.
I'm glad that the titles are off of them. I was hoping, but I don't mind it being on Judgment Day because eventually it's going to get the hands onto a team that really deserves it, like the Creed brothers.
Because Dio wasn't on the show.
But I was perfectly fine with them losing $10 because it was overdue. It's like
as soon as that happened, I'm like,
I mean, I love as much as I love Truth. I was getting tired of the whole Miz and Truth tag team and their championship run. So it's just like it was very meh. I mean, I'm glad they got the moment at WrestleMania. That's great and everything, but it was. I'm glad that they finally took the titles off them.
Yes, exactly.
It also gives JD finally as a title under his race.
Exactly. Like because they didn't know what to do, and they're just like, "Hey, Truth, just do the same shtick," and it was just we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's like, and they weren't ever featured like in a match or in a feud or anything. They were just there, and I'm like, this is just lazy booking because you don't know what to do with them. But then you put the tag champs on them, but you have so much other shit going on that you didn't know what to do with them. But you have them on the shit.
Now this frees up the titles to like it's like getting some juicy feuds here.
Because you look at Grayson and Theory and DIY, like that's what a tag team feud-esque does. And plus you put the Theory stuff in, so it's multiple layers. Where it's just like, let's do Truth and Miz in an ice cream truck. I'm like, that's not Triple H era. That's that bullshit Vince McMahon 2019 crap that no one cared about. Catch Republic, which we'll get to Catch Republic on NXT. But I'm just glad we got and I'm glad Truth got his moment, and it ran its course a lot longer than it's supposed to. But we got the tag titles off. It puts more emphasis on Liv and Judgment and what she's doing for Judgment Day, and puts more riffs into that, because now JD, Carlito, and Finn are going to be like, hey, Liv helped us out. She got us a match. We're now the tag titles. And Dom's like, you got to get away from me. Damian, this actually adds more. Did Triple H have this in his bag the whole time and just was putting it off until he got there, or it just happened to work out that way? That's my question to you.
Not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, this is making Carlito interesting.
No, I like Carlito being part of the Judgment Day. It's like
because he doesn't know how to respond. Like, I like the way they're doing it, because he's trying to be in the group. He wants to be a part of it, but he doesn't want to piss off anybody. So like, he's like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, no, it's not. Oh, no, it's not cool. Okay, cool. And like his reactions and stuff. Like, Carly's a professional. Anything else on the show before we move to AEW?
No, this was a okay episode. Not as good as last week for sure. But still decent. It wasn't terrible. Some good stuff, but not as exciting as last week.
No, but yeah, that the Bo Dallas Wyatt Six stuff.
McIntyre's promo. A couple other things were really good. I just want to give highlights to the freaking Liv was really solid on this show as far as figuring stuff out. So I like that. But yeah, it wasn't as good as last week, but still, I mean, how can you beat last week? It's very hard to beat last week. So let's go on to AEW. All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Show opened with MJF coming out to cut a promo, but he was interrupted by Buffalo's own Daniel Garcia with a great reaction. Words were exchanged, mostly pleasantries. Complimented each other. MJF offered Daniel Garcia to have a match with him at All In before he could accept. Will Ospreay came out, said that he also has been watching Daniel Garcia and knows he wants a shot at the International title against him. And he offered that and said that after he wins the world title at Forbidden Door, that will also he'll put both titles on the line against him next week on Dynamite. He accepted. MJF definitely wasn't happy that Ospreay upstaged him, but wished Garcia good luck in the next week. Swerve cut a promo backstage on Ospreay ahead of their teaming up against the Gates of Agony later in the show. Then we had a six-man tag, the Blackwood Combat Club, Claudio, Moxley, Ryuta taking on Los Ingobernables de Japón. They won by disqualification. Led to a brawl. Moxley's opponent at Forbidden Door, Naito, came out. Led to a brawl. Then we had Switchblade, Jay White taking on Rey Fenix, Owen Hart Cup qualifying quarterfinal match. Jay White picked up the victory with the Blade Runner. Afterwards, Christian Cage Patrick came out to challenge them for the trios titles at a later date. The Bucks appeared at backstage. complaining about the Acclaim taking advantage of them losing their temper last week to win, and that they cheated. And that everything's okay. Okada has a title, and soon Jack Perry is going to win the TNT Championship. And they are going to personally insert someone into the wild card spot in the Owen Hart Cup tournament so they can run through and win the world title at Wembley Stadium so that the Elite will have all the gold and all the power. The Acclaim came out to cut a promo in the ring, promising that they were going to be challenging the Young Bucks for the tag team titles soon at a time of their choosing. The Bucks and Okada came out to interrupt, bitch, and words were exchanged. They challenged the Acclaim to a 6-man tag at Forbidden Door with Deadass as their partner. Deadass said that, well, they had a different plan in mind. He knows some people in high places, including a certain president. And then on the Videotron, a pre-recorded promo from New Japan President Hiroshi Tanahashi saying that he was going to be teaming with the Acclaimed to challenge the Elite at Forbidden Door. Another wonderful promo with Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy and Ray Paquette backstage. Then we had a 6-woman tag. Mariah May, Mina Shirakawa, and Timeless Tony Storm taking on the Outcasts, Saraya NJ, Harley Cameron. Tony Storm and company picked up the victory. Afterwards, the two pretended to get along, even sharing a champagne, but Mina went and grabbed the champagne bottle, went to hit Tony with it, who ducked, and she blasted Mariah May in the head with it, knocking her out cold. And Timeless was not happy about that. Dueling promos from Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vergara had their match at Forbidden Door. Learning Tree came out for a segment. They said that they found a partner to take the injured Brian Keith's place against Samoa Shibata, and Hook. It was Minoru Suzuki, his old friend, but Suzuki appeared on the Tron Cutting Pro saying that he didn't want to tag with Jericho. He doesn't like the Learning Tree crap and challenged him for an FDW Championship match at Forbidden Door instead, much to Jericho's surprise. Samoa Joe and Cobra came out to run them down, and that led to a brawl. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly taking on Zack Sabre Jr. Orange Cassidy was with the commentary team. Zack Sabre Jr. picked up the victory. Orange Cassidy went down to make sure that Kyle O'Reilly was okay, but the Undisputed Kingdom fed him off, and he got into words with Zack and the rest of TDMK. But his old buddy Tomohiro Ishii came out to back him up against the heels. Then we had our main event, the Gates of Agony, taking on Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay in a tag match. Babyface picked up the victory. Hidden Blade. After the match, Ospreay went to pick up the world title, and Swerve didn't appreciate that and laid him out with a house call. Picked the title back up and stood tall over Ospreay. Close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's Go Home episode for Forbidden Door of AEW Dynamite.
My favorite part of the show was actually part of the opening segment, is because it let MJF know that, hey, you might not be the top dog anymore.
Yeah, I like that. Honestly, that was probably the best segment of the show. This was a kind of meh episode for me, to be honest. There were some highlights, like the opening stuff with Garcia, MJF, and then Ospreay coming out to upstage him by offering Garcia a title shot next week. And also the arrogance that he's saying that he'll put the world title on it, even though he hasn't won the world title yet. So it's like, and you could see on MJF's face, he was not happy about Ospreay one-upping him like that. So that was really good. But it's like outside of like the Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa stuff, which I like that build to that title match. There's not a lot of the other builds have been kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's like there's a lot of good matches, but like the builds are kind of just been kind of a little lackluster. So it's like,
I'll give you that. This was the first time that you know how I am with like, give me a reason why this match is happening. Type of thing that we've always been about. That being said, that Kyle O'Reilly Zack Sabre Jr. match, Jesus Christ,
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, that was.
As far as a
Thank you,
standalone
Giff.
show,
Appreciate the backup.
yeah.
Thank you, Giff.
But
Oh,
I do like
Yeah.
what they're trying to do with the Tony stuff and the Outcast
Mhm.
stuff. Like I like what they're trying to do with that. I did like the Shibata, oh brother, this man sucks, with his phone.
Yes.
I thought that was funny as hell. I
As
love,
much as
like
I
said,
don't,
that trio is awesome.
yeah, that I love that what they're doing with that
Tushka.
trio. As much as I hate the learning tree stuff right now, I did like the fact that he's like, he thought he was going to team up with him, but he's like, no, I hate this learning tree crap. I want to challenge you for the FTW title at Forbidden Door. And I just laughed. I was like, he speaks for all of us.
Yeah.
And then I love it. Smojo came out to rub salt in the wound.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm with you. Like Gates of Agony versus Will Ospreay and Swerve. That's your.
It's like that's just so. It's just lazy booking. It's the classic. They're gonna face a time match. Will they?
Can they work together?
It's like.
That being said, the end of it was awesome.
And it's like I'm not gonna fear. I don't fear anything against Agony. It's like I consider them jobbers at this point. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't book a jobber against your top two guys that you're trying to build.
Yes, I think some people underrate how amazing he is as a wrestler.
Who's underrating him?
Some people I've seen do it. It's like well, apparently you haven't watched enough New Japan. It's like, you know, I haven't watched enough. I've seen enough of Zack Sabre Jr. He's one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet.
It's like saying Jacob Fatu is underrated.
That match he had against Danielson, Jesus.
Yeah, it's like Zach. I think because he's much more of like the guy that did the bad thing grappler type of wrestler. So he's not the high flashy person. He's much more of a technical wrestler. So maybe that's why people underrate him and he's just okay on the mic. I don't know enough, but for what I see when he's in the ring, dude does what he needs to do. He's part of it. The Jay White Phoenix match, that was fun.
That was
definitely,
good. It was a good match.
Definitely. But yeah, I'm with you. It's an okay show because there wasn't a whole lot of like, why did this happen? And this is what our biggest thing about Tony is he just puts random matches together. At least the Owen Hart thing, that made sense.
Yeah. Question. So who do you think the Bucks are bringing as the wild card to face Jeff Jarrett?
Dijak. No, it's Hangman.
Yeah, it's
Hangman. It's definitely Hangman. With that,
that's very likely.
Yeah, it's Hangman.
Now, Giff has an interesting thought. Maybe because
don't make Tony look that smart because he can't book shit right now.
It's like Claudio's shown his unhappiness lately, so it's like I think it feels like they're teasing a heel turn and him leaving the BCC.
Yeah, but they're gonna do it in the most dumbass way.
Hopefully not.
Just the past two shows have shown some continuity, but also the Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre, just because they're trying to highlight, oh, here's New Japan's people, here's our people. Like I maybe I get that, but that match was awesome. So it just took me out of the fact of like, why the hell did this happen?
For some people, he'd probably be in their top three. I know he's really damn good. I don't know where I'd put him though.
I don't know either. I honestly don't. I mean, is he better than Moxley?
Oh yeah, he's better than Moxley.
Okay. In the ring. That makes sense.
In the ring.
I'm talking about like overall. Like, is he better than Moxley? Is he better than Danielson?
I think the only thing that Moxley would give him edge on would be a little bit of the charisma.
Yeah.
But like the in-ring work is, but
the best wrestler right now is in AEW. It's Will Ospreay by a mile right now. On the mic and in the ring, it's Will Ospreay. Because his stuff, what he's doing and the character work that he's doing is far exceeding what I thought he would do.
Yeah. It's like I'm excited for Swerve and Ospreay. I'm just very curious where
they're going to go with it. Just don't keep it on Swerve.
It's like I said, As much as I like Ospreay, do not take the title Swerve this early. It'd be a massive mistake. You know,
But
piss a lot of
they're
people off.
flirting with it because Ospreay and Daniel Garcia are going before Forbidden Door.
Yeah, but he'll still have the international title. That's the thing. So
No, they're doing the international title with him and Garcia before Forbidden Door.
no, that match is next week.
I thought it
after-
was before it. I thought it was a Collision or something.
Forbidden Door is Sunday.
Right, I thought it was Collision that they were doing it.
No,
Okay.
no, that match is no Garcia versus Ospreay is on next week's Dynamite after the pay per view.
Oh, well, then that's just dumb if they like have Will Ospreay
That's
win
why.
the title
That's why
and
it was
then just
kind of
lose to
crazy
Daniel
that
Garcia.
he's like
Garcia needs it, by the
yeah.
way. Garcia's earned it.
like he's putting the world title on the line, even though he hasn't even won the world title yet. Which Swerve pointed out, like what do you? It's like that's kind of arrogant of you, dude. To it's like,
Who
it's
should
like
dethrone?
you make a title match with the belt you haven't even won yet.
Who should dethrone Swerve at this point? That makes sense with where everything's going.
I don't know. I would say Ospreay, but not now.
Not now.
Too early.
It's too early.
That's why
they're not booking it correctly.
The best decision would be Don Callis fucks him over because of what he said last week. I don't need Don Callis family. I don't need him or the Callis family.
No.
I don't think he took that very well, even though he acted like everything's fine, knowing Don Callis. He's not going to take that kind of insult lying down.
Right. All right. So my last thing we're going to do for AEW, we're going to try and solve AEW's problem. It's a big problem right now. It's called ratings. And they took the biggest rating hit I've ever seen. GIF, anybody else that's still watching, help us figure this problem out. Because we want AEW to exist because it keeps WWE keep going with what they're doing.
Don't throw a bunch of people out there with it's like you're trying to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. Give the women's division more than one match on Dynamite every week.
Yeah. Here's my thing. Make us want to come back and see what the hell's happening the next show.
Exactly. It's like that's what WWE's doing good on the main shows is there's storylines going on that make you want to tune in. Like, okay, well, I got to tune in now. It's like to see what happens next. It's like because there's times where Dynamite is entertaining, but there's not always the hook of like, well, wow, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Right. There's not the in WCW of like, well, I've been told we got to cut the fee, but we'll be back next time. It's like, oh shit, what happened with that fallout? Like, you didn't have where's the money that's gonna make me want to spend the money to watch next show?
That's another possibility I wouldn't count out either.
No. Because you have one of the best pound for pound.
The other thing I'm kind of mystified is so MJF's back and he's like not doing anything to try to get back immediately into the world title picture. But I understand why. But you gotta at least give a good explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really want to have Swerve have a decent run, it's like, yeah, you don't want to throw MJF at him right away. But like the fact that he's not even in the Owen Hart Cup tournament doesn't make any sense. It's like unless he hasn't even said anything. So that's the problem. It's like you think like it's like it makes sense you want to be in the Owen Cup tournament because like you get a title shot.
Right. I don't know.
But
yeah. I think we solved it. Tony, just make us want to come back for more. We're gonna come back because we're just crazy marks who just love wrestling, and we know we have good matches. But as far as the common audience, you got to have a hook. There's a reason soap operas leave on a cliffhanger every gosh damn episode. Make us want to come back for more. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
By making us come back for more, NXT's doing that.
We'll see if Collision. I don't know if Collision will do any better in providing a final lead into Forbidden Door, but
Forbidden Door is always fun, though. I will say that.
It'll probably be a good show. It's just I'm not like super excited for it.
There's no
outside of Ospreay Swerve. There's not many other matches that I'm jazzed for. Because mostly it's like I know Ospreay and Swerve are gonna have a banger, And I'm also wondering how the hell the match is going to end.
Mm-hmm. Is Naito not just a part of anything anymore?
I don't know. Like I said, my knowledge of New Japan is limited.
Yeah, Naito is my favorite in New Japan. If you haven't noticed that, I brought up Naito multiple times during our shows.
He's going to win the title. He's going to take the title from Moxley.
Yeah. All right, here we go with NXT, and Lola Vice sucks.
All right, here's our recap. What happened on this week's episode of NXT? Show opened with a tag team troll match. Winner would face Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the titles at Heatwave. We had Chase U, Malik Blade, and Enfo, the Good Brothers, Legado Fantasma, New Catch Republic. New Catch Republic ran through everybody, including the Good Brothers. It came down to them versus Chase U. Thanks to a little help from Ridge Holland, Chase U picked up the victory and earned the title shot at Heatwave. Then Ethan Page came out to cut a promo, saying that even though Javon Evans won the Battle Royal, he was not eliminated for the Battle Royal, and so then he went on to beat him one-on-one, so he should get the title shot against Trick Williams at Heatwave. He demanded Ava change the main event. Sean Spears came out and said that he already beat Javon Evans before and thinks that he should get into the title picture. Trick Williams came out to rebut, and that led to a brawl and a match between Spears and Trick Williams in the main event of the show. Then we had Joe Coffey taking on Wesley. Wesley picked up the victory with a cardiac kick. Obafemi appeared to tell Wesley he's going to get a title match at Heatwave, and he looks forward to seeing him, but this is going to be his last chance. Then we had NXT Heritage Cup match, Tony D'Angelo defending against Nate Frazier. This went the full 6 rounds. It was tied at 1, but in the end, Tony was able to pick up the victory and retain the cup in an excellent match. Roxanne Perez took on Carmen Petrovic in a non-title match. Mostly a squash. Roxanne picked up the victory at Pop Rocks. After the match, Lil Vice attacked Roxanne, laid her out, and took the title bout with her as she left the ring. Metaphor was backstage talking with Noam Dar on the phone. He revealed that his tendon had got ripped off right at the bone, so he's going to be out for a while. Oro Mensah cut quite a babyface promo talking about how his dad almost died in a car accident, had 60% burns on his body, and all the trials and tribulations he and his family went through because of that. Metaphor is like his family, and he's not going to rest until Ethan Page pays for what he did to Noam Dar. The Good Brothers attacked out of the mud backstage because they cost them in the tag team turmoil match. That led to Mia Yim and Jada Parker getting into it as well, and it'd be break up by officials. Lola Vice gave Ava the NXT Women's title belt and said to tell Roxanne that she wants a title match at Heatwave. Damon Kemp took on Tavian Heights. If Tavian Heights won, he'd be able to join the No Quarter Catch crew. And exactly what he did by picking up a victory and earning a spot in the group. Clyde Jordan cut a promo backstage. Looking forward to seeing whoever's going to face her for the Women's North American Championship at Heatwave. Jada Parker came in to interrupt promo and challenged Mia Yim to a street fight next week on NXT. Then we had Honor Grace taking on Sol Ruka. The winner would go on to face Kalani Jordan at Heatwave. Sol Ruka picked up the victory with the Snow Snatcher. So it'll be Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka for the NXT Women's North American Championship at Heatwave. We saw JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley complaining about all the babyfaces getting opportunities that they're not, and they say they need to do something about it. Sounds like we may have a new women's heel stable forming. Then Roxanne came into Ava's office to get her title belt back, all pissed off, blaming Ava, but Ava put her in her place, in her own words, and then said that she will be defending the women's title against Lola Vice at Heatwave. Then we got to our main event, Sean Spears taking on Trick Williams in a non-title match. Ethan Page was at the commentary desk for this. Of course, Oro Mensah came out to attack Ethan Page and had to be escorted away. Eventually, things broke down when Jensen Briggs came out to once again cause issues. Security tried to take him out. In the chaos, he accidentally hit Trick in the head. That allowed Spears to capitalize and him with the C4 to pin Trick Williams and pick up the victory. Robert Stone and Stevie Turner asked Ava in the back what she's going to do, and she declared that Trick would defend the title in a fatal four-way match at Heatwave against Ethan Page, Shawn Spears, and Javon Evans to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT.
All right, no bias aside.
One time for the birthday, bitch.
All right.
2 times for the birthday, bitch. 3 times for the birthday, bitch. Fuck it up if it's your birthday,
Guys.
bitch.
Hey!
Birthday, bitch.
Thanks,
Fuck it up if it's your
guys.
birthday, bitch. Fuck it up if it's your birthday,
Happy birthday, bitch!
Thanks.
Yeah, everybody in the chats, put it in there. Happy birthday, bitch. No, happy birthday, Josh.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Appreciate
No,
it.
we won't take up too much.
We were so freaking close. So close.
Yeah, no, we don't want to take up too much time because we know you guys are doing a great job putting the show together and want to finish it up. But no, we just wanted to surprise you real quick, let you know, man, we absolutely love you. You've
Love
been
you guys
killing
too.
it this last couple of years, and you've been such a huge added bonus to the channel and leader in the channel. So we just love you, man. Happy birthday! So
I love you, Josh. Happy birthday. You do such a great job for this channel, literally holding it down like with so many shows and bringing Justin along. It's so good. We love
Hey,
you.
hats off to my co-host. I mean, he does the videos every week, and has to. Sometimes he has to watch bad wrestling, which I do too. But still, he has to watch them in detail to do the detailed rundowns. So it's great. But I'm so glad that
It's my pleasure because you're awesome, Josh.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
tell him about it, Justin. Tell him about it.
But thank you all so much. It's always a pleasure, and I love this channel, obviously. So,
Okay, bitch.
yeah.
Hey. All right, we'll see.
There's
So
a guy.
NXT, right?
Yeah.
No, there actually was a lot of issues that I had with this show. There was
Yeah,
some
go over-
good, but
yeah,
a
go
lot
over-
of issues I had with it.
Let's go over the bad stuff.
Okay. Why is there a match to get a new member of the new quarter catch crew?
I don't know, and it's not really interesting me.
No.
So,
Okay, that's number one.
yep.
Number two, the Heritage Cup. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I think they need to do something with the Heritage Cup. I think it's only around as a kind of like a relic homage to NXT UK time, but I don't know. Maybe they could have come up with like another like mid-card title to take its place. That would be a little better. But I will say that this one between Tony and Nathan Frazier is one of the best Heritage Cup matches they've done on NXT yet. I thought it was
I'll give you that. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like it's hard to translate because it's a very British the British round style is it's not something that it's a format that a lot of wrestling fans here in the States are used to. So I mean it's like I'm glad that they're giving Tony D something, but yeah, it's like I'm just wondering, like I'm just kind of surprised it's still around. I thought they'd come up with something else maybe instead, but no, I get you. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of wondering, like, why it's still around.
and then the last thing, there's a couple other little things, but these are the main three things that I had a problem with. Number three, which I was surprised I had a problem with, the Wesley Obafemi feud went nowhere this episode.
Yeah, that was weird. And it's like, now that you mentioned it,
It buried Gallus and went nowhere with Oba.
Yeah, it was more just kind of like the same
crap.
Yeah,
You buried Gallus for what?
I don't think they buried him, but I was kind of surprised he won. I expected more shenanigans, especially with the rest of Gallus at ringside. It was a little weird. So
I think it's because WWE is trying to get away from everything has to have shenanigans, because that's what
and I get that,
but
then,
sometimes
then it would have been better if they had been banned from ringside and it was just him versus Joe Coffey.
Right. But there wasn't anything said, so I'm like, sometimes we talk about shenanigans all the time, and then when it doesn't happen, we're kind of surprised, but then not really, because we'd rather it be the clean finish.
Yeah.
But when you have a clean finish, what does that really do for? Because I don't think it's going to hurt Gallus, but you're having Gallus take the pin in a clean finish with two other guys in his faction who could make shenanigans. And he's the second. It wasn't because, oh man, it was a tough battle. No, immediately we go to Obafemi standing up there, just talking the same crap, and with Wes Lee. So it hurt Gallus and did nothing for the build. That's the issue I have with it.
No, I get that.
Okay, so that's my bad. That's my bad. Did they overbook the Fatal 4-Way? A little bit, because they never said. That
was my biggest gripe. It seemed like they did a little bit of overbooking to get this Fatal 4-Way set up, especially having Trick lose.
That's my biggest thing. That, and also going into this episode,
there were shenanigans involved. He got hit by Jensen by accident while security was trying to get him out of the ringside area. So there's an excuse there, but I was surprised. As soon as it happened, I was just like, okay, well, it's a Fatal 4-Way now. And so it was not, I was dull surprised when Ava announced it. I was like,
yeah, but the thing is I didn't like the way they booked Javon and took away from the 25-man Battle Royal and had him lose to Ethan Page, even though that kind of makes sense, but I still didn't like it. Right. And then going into this episode, they just go, oh, Javon Evans, *1 contender. I'm like, when did that happen? No one.
Right. Because I thought, it's like, because like Ethan said, he was not eliminated from the Battle Royal. It's like, so Javon shouldn't have actually won the Battle Royal because he was not eliminated from it. It's like Oro Mensah just took him out of the match through the ropes, and then he beat him later in the evening. I thought that he was challenging him so he could see who would actually get the title shot. And then this week they're acting like the Javon still has the title shot. I was a little confused. And then the spear stuff happens, and it's just like, okay, now we got a whole big mess going on here.
Yeah, so it's a little overbooking. Like I said, I wasn't too mad at it once I saw where they were going.
He is.
He's
killing it on the mic. He's doing great character work. He's helping Oro Mensah get over, which I never thought I would say, because I didn't think much of him until he's been coming after Ethan with a vengeance, and then he cut that promo. Talking about his family, his dad.
Oh yeah.
It's like I was like, well, Metaphor is officially babyface now, because after that promo, it's like you're gonna be rooting for Oro Mensah to kick Ethan Page's ass.
I mean, they were kind of teasing them being babyface with the Last Legend stuff.
Oh yeah,
Rick.
Yeah. But it's very clear
like,
that they've gone full babyface now.
Once they finally got Ethan and he went with, it was like, oh yep, they're
also sucks for Noam Dar that he's gonna be out. Sucks. He's gonna be out for a bit. He's a talented guy.
But it's making Noam Dar relevant, because at first, remember I told you, like,
this
before,
gives Oro Mensah a chance to see what it's like. Okay, dude, now you got the spotlight. Let's see what you can do with it.
But remember when I said we were like, this feud between Trick and Noam Dar has been terrible. Like, this is this feud, and then Ethan shows up. We're like, oh, we're into it now. And then you add Ethan into why. Oh, now he's made Noam Dar a bigger babyface than Noam Dar ever thought he could be.
Yeah, and when Noam Dar comes back, he's going to come after Ethan Page with a vengeance.
Right, and everyone's going to be involved with it. It's going to be good stuff there.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a little overbooking.
Yeah.
Because because I had a problem with it there, and then I saw where the show was going, and I was like, all right, fine. I just don't like, especially in this day and age, I never like it when your champion takes the pin.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even though it's shenanigans, I was still, I was like, Yeah,
It reminds me of the Rey Mysterio run where he was a champion and was just beat the shit out of the whole
Right.
time. I'm like, what does
Little
that do
bit
to your belt?
Well, at least with the Fatal 4-Way, Ethan Page is not going to do another job to Trick. So it's
No, it's going to be Sean Spears. Because they're going to protect Evans and they're going to
they're going to protect Ethan Page.
It's going to be
Spears is there to take the pinfall.
Spears is there to take the pin. But that being said,
all right, let's switch over to the good stuff.
The good stuff. Roxanne and Lola, dude.
Okay, I was not expecting this, but I'm already liking where this feud has gone.
Mm-hmm.
Lola Vice is already has already got like the fan base behind her in a babyface way, and the way that she's messed with Roxanne it's fantastic stuff. She's rattled and pissed off, and I like that.
Yep, I love
because I was like when Lola Vice laid Roxanne out, and it's so I was like, oh, Josh's not gonna like that.
I'm not gonna like it as a biased fan, but I like it as the feud.
Yeah,
because it makes Lola look that much more stronger as she loses.
You know what I also liked? She didn't do the typical I'm just stealing the title and pretending like Swank. No, she took it and then gave it to Ava and said, give it back to her and tell her I'm coming for it.
Right. Yeah, that was good there. But this is how, because we were racking our brains of who can Roxanne do, because Lola was still involved with Shayna. This is how, and we were talking. I told you, I was like, dude, I like the way they're doing Lola, especially after that.
No, this is good.
I said, this is exactly what you need.
I'm looking forward to this match now.
Yeah. And then I also liked the Meechin Jada.
Oh, yeah. The Meechin Jada feud with and out the Good Brothers. I like where it's going.
Is Good Brothers face or heel? That's the only thing.
They need to clarify that still.
Clarify it, man. Because Jada's a heel, Meechin's a face. Good Brothers are a heel, and her boys and Jada's boys are a face. I don't know what it is.
Well, Jada and Out the Mud have been heels for a while, so it's like Mia's clearly a baby face. So it's like, why are the Good Brothers face when they're so heelish with AJ and SmackDown? It's like it's so confusing.
Yeah. All right, and then the last thing. I mean, a good tag team turmoil is a good tag team turmoil.
No, New Catch Republic got to show how awesome they are. And
and I liked what they did with Chase U for once.
Yes,
because they did the New Catch Republic.
They played into Ridge Holland's history,
right?
With Pete Dunne, with the Brawling Brutes, and then him and Tyler Bate being all, dude, what the hell was that all about? You know,
that was the first time I was like, okay, because obviously I kept up with, the Brawling Brutes and Pete Dunne.
I would not be surprised if Chase U wins the tag titles again, because they're teasing hard a breakup between Axiom and Nathan Frazier right now.
Oh yeah, with the crown or whatever the hell it was that I really didn't care.
Oh yeah, challenging for the cup, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm on speed this week. I gotta go do that." It's like yeah, they're teasing a breakup here, pretty very clearly.
So, thank you, Tushka. Yeah, yeah. But other than that. I
also loved that backstage segment where like Tatum Paxley's like being all stalkerish.
Oh yeah, and then she just like slaps the. She's like the first one. I was like, oh, she's stalking. She goes,
nope, get out of here.
Get out of here. So like that. The feud. The trios. That was teased.
Yeah, I'm wondering. This is obviously leading somewhere where JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley. It feels like they're setting up for those three to form a new women's heel faction, because they're kind of like on the same page. Where like we're getting tired of getting other people taking opportunities we feel that we deserve, and like something's got to change. So it feels like those three are going to form an alliance really soon. I'm all for it. If you make a good heel group, it's like the women's division could definitely use it. It would be definitely freshen things up.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man, but something about Jasmine Nix. I think she's a star.
I think she's got potential.
She's not where the other two are at this point, but there's something about her that I'm like, okay, there's something.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm kind of surprised at this. So, Kalani's first major title defense on a PLE is against Sol Ruckus.
That was a hell of a match. Even though she had to like double back, you could saw that it was she almost screwed that up.
Yeah.
But she had to double back. And I was like, okay. I don't like Ariana Grace's like Miss America gimmick. I don't like that.
There's times where I've liked it, other times I don't.
I just don't like that type of gimmick.
I will give her props. How she's committed to the character she is. She puts her effort into it. And it's like, but yeah, the character doesn't like work for me 100%. I think they maybe need to change things up a little bit for her. She's
so talented to be a Miss America.
I mean, and she's talented in the ring. I mean, she's Santino Morella's daughter, so it's like she's definitely inherited something.
Ariana, like I watched that match with Sol Ruckus. We know both of them go.
Yeah.
I just don't like the gimmick.
Yeah, I think they need to tweak the gimmick a little bit for her. And I think it would help because she's more like, and then she's not like learning tree Jericho level annoying, but it's like it's like it could get there real easy.
It's just a weird thing of like the gimmick of Miss America, and then all of a sudden she just like becomes like a badass wrestler. It doesn't correlate to me.
Yeah.
Like Miss America is more of she doesn't want to get physical. She doesn't want to do all these things.
So it's like Kalani versus Sol. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. Because Kalani's got to win. Because it takes away from the fact that Sol Ruckus should have won the title to begin with.
They're very high on her. It's like,
and it's a face and face.
I'm really surprised they're doing this.
It's a face and face.
And this is a babyface versus babyface match too. I'm very
super baby faces, not just like a babyface.
Yeah. And Sol is really over.
Right.
So I'm really surprised they're doing this. I was like, I hope you know what you're doing, HBK. It's like there's no question the match is going to kick ass. It's just like it. It's like
so you're just gonna give Kiana like a hats off. You won. You were the first ever. Now we're gonna give it to the person that should have won it. Just give it to her in the ladder match to begin with.
I just thought of something. What if what if Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, and Jason Jane caused some shenanigans in this match? Because they made it clear that like they're not happy about getting left out of it. Because they specifically called out how like why is Sol Ruckus get title match with Kalani Jordan? I get that opportunity.
No, I mean that's exactly what they should do.
That's what they should do. Be a great match, but then have the heels attack and have the match thrown out. So that way you protect both of them at the same time. Kalani's still champion, and his Sol doesn't do the job.
I'm just not big anymore on there has to be a pin.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it can't just be a straight
DQ. That's why I'm wondering. I'm like, yeah.
You can't DQ a pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. You cannot That's the biggest bullshit ever.
Yeah.
Is when the audience is quote unquote paying to see a pinfall, and you do shenanigans. That's what put WWE in the hot water, and people saying this thing is garbage.
I agree. That's why I'm like trying to rack my brain. Like, what are you doing, Sean? Why are you putting these two very popular face characters against each other for the title? It's like
right. No. But there should be shenanigans, but someone should take the fall, which I think will be Sol Ruckus.
I think it would be okay if she loses by shenanigans. And then
that's what I'm saying. Like she'll lose by shenanigans.
If Kalani just won the title, she can't. It's like
you cannot put the title on Sol Ruckus
then it feels like hot potato. Then why didn't Sol Ruckus win the ladder match in the first place?
Yes, exactly. So, yeah. Thanks, Gif. Thanks, Tushka from Twitter. I mean, from Twitch. I know you just did it again. All that, but no. Like I said, I think this was a C show.
Yeah, it was a solid show, not like outstanding.
No,
at least they're making things clear for what the lineup for Heatwave is still on paper looking really good right now. You got a fatal 4-way for the NXT title, Roxanne versus Lola, Obafemi versus Wesley is going to kick ass. Kalani versus Sol is going to kick ass. Tag team title match is also solid. So the Heatwave's looking pretty good right now.
Thanks, Preston.
All
right.
Hi, Preston. So yeah, decent episode of NXT. Not a home run, but solid. It's like it was definitely a mixed bag.
Yes, Cheryl, it is a birthday. All right, well, we're gonna log off here, guys. We'll see you on the Discord. Join us next time. On that, I
We'll
would
be
go
talking
through
about
the
Forbidden
Patreon.
Door next week, and oh boy.
Oh wow,
I mean-
okay. Twitter does come through. Okay, this is good to know. Thank you for that.
Hey, nice.
All right. But yeah, join us, Discord, all that stuff. I'm perplexed right now because so many people are just wishing me happy birthday, so it's kind of weird. But yeah,
Happy birthday, buddy.
thanks, man. Thank you all so much, Justin. As always, thank you so much. It's always a fun show to do every week because the world of wrestling never stops. Therefore, we always keep up with it to bring you all as good of a content as we possibly can as far as wrestling. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, ring the doorbell, let you know every time we come live, which will be on these Thursdays. Patreon.com/RuckusEV. If you want to, please join us because we want to have a show in mind that you might want to do. We will be here to help you produce. As you saw, a couple of the behind the scenes people that if all you watch on this show, they came on to wish me happy birthday. Thank you so much, Sol and Tushka. But they help run this channel as much as everyone else that you see on TV, YouTube, and all that. But we would want you all to join in this journey that is Ruckus Entertainment and Variety. But if anything, on behalf of me and Justin, thank you all so much, and we will see you all next time.